Imagine waking up to the roar of bulldozers carving up your own backyard. Not because of some natural disaster, but because your nosy neighborhood HOA decided your land was theirs for the taking, without a single word to you. That's exactly what hit me like a freight train one crisp autumn morning in the sleepy suburbs of Evergreen Heights, Colorado, where the air smells like pine and privilege, but underneath it all lurks a suffocating web of petty rules enforced by self-appointed tyrants. And the queen of this absurd kingdom? None other than Marge Kensington, the HOA president who'd turn a harmless garden gnome into a federal offense if it meant flexing her clipboard authority. I was out on my deck, nursing a black coffee and scrolling through emails, when my phone buzzed with a tip from an old pal at the county records office. "Hey, Alex, you might want to check this out," he said, his voice laced with that mix of disbelief and amusement you get when bureaucracy goes full clown show. "Your HOA just pulled permits for a whole dam extension, luxury townhomes, right smack on what looks like your property line." I froze, staring out at my 2-acre lot, the one I'd bought 5 years back for its quiet seclusion amid the rolling hills. It was my sanctuary, wildflowers in spring, a small pond stocked with trout, and 0 neighbors breathing down my neck. But Evergreen Heights HOA? I wasn't even a member. My deed made that crystal clear. My land butted up against their gated enclave, but it was mine, free and clear. No covenants, no fines for mismatched mailbox colors. See, I'd moved here after a nasty divorce, craving peace after years in the city grind. Folks whispered about me from day one, single guy in his 40s, works remote as a freelance investigator, keeps to himself. "He's probably hiding something," they'd mutter at block parties I never attended. Rumors flew, tax evader, recluse with a shady past, even whispers of me being some kind of eco-freak blocking progress. I heard it all through the grapevine, but I let it slide. Why stir the pot when silence lets you watch the fools brew their own poison? Little did they know, my job had honed my skills in patience and evidence gathering. I wasn't the type to yell. I was the type to document, wait, and strike when the iron was red hot. That afternoon, I hiked the boundary trail, binoculars in hand, and there they were, yellow machines rumbling like hungry beasts, ripping through my untouched meadow. Survey stakes dotted the landscape like acne on a prom night face, and a crew in hard hats was pounding in foundations. I approached one burly foreman, keeping my tone casual. "What's going on here?" He wiped sweat from his brow, glancing at his clipboard. "HOA project, expanding the community with upscale units. President Kensington said it's all cleared. Zoning's good. Land's acquired." Acquired? I bit back a laugh. Marge had pulled the stunt before, fining neighbors for unsightly bird feeders or demanding paint samples for sheds. But stealing land? That was next-level delusion. Flashback to 2 years prior. I'd shown up at an HOA meeting, not as a member, but as an adjacent owner, when Marge proposed a community enhancement road that would have sliced my lot in half. She cornered me after, her pearl necklace gleaming under the fluorescent lights, voice dripping with that faux sweet venom. "Mr. Harlan, you're hoarding that hillside like it's your personal kingdom. Think of the families. The vacation rentals could boost property values for everyone." I chuckled. "Not my circus. Not my monkeys, Marge. My land stays mine," she huffed, eyes narrowing. "Progress waits for no one, especially not stubborn holdouts." I walked away, figuring her bluster was just hot air. Boy, was I wrong, or rather, right in the most ironic way. Instead of storming in with lawyers blazing, I did what I do best, observed. Over the next months, I set up trail cams, logged drone footage from afar, and pulled public records like threads in a sweater, watching it unravel. They built fast. 15 sleek townhomes rising like arrogant fingers pointing at the sky, complete with forustic siding, solar arrays to greenwash the greed, and a pretentious communal gazebo. Marge paraded around the site in her signature khakis and blazer, barking orders like a discount drill sergeant. Make sure those roofs match the Covenant palette, eggshell beige, not off-white. She'd snap at workers, who rolled their eyes when her back turned. Whispers in the neighborhood grew louder. At the local diner, I'd overhear, "That Alex guy's letting them build? Must be in on it. Probably getting a kickback. Or worse. He's too quiet. Bet he's plotting something illegal." I smiled into my coffee, letting the rumors fuel their overconfidence. Marge even sent me a smug letter, inviting me to join the HOA now that improvements were enhancing my adjacent value. "It's for the greater good," she wrote, underlining it twice. Greater good code for her pocketbook, as I'd later discover. As winter thawed into spring, the project neared completion. They slapped up a wrought iron gate at the entrance to my new extension, emblazoned with Evergreen Heights Summit Residences, exclusive living. Marge organized a grand opening, inviting local press and potential buyers. I bided my time, folder of deeds and surveys tucked under my arm, heart pounding not with rage, but anticipation. The day arrived sunny and crisp, Marge in her pastel power suit, scissors poised over a red ribbon. "Today marks a new era of harmony and stewardship," she proclaimed to the small crowd, camera flashes popping. That's when I stepped forward, voice steady but loud enough to echo. "Harmony? Try trespassing, Marge. Every brick here is on my land." Her face, priceless, a mix of shock and denial twisting her Botox-smooth features into a caricature. "Mr. Harlan, this is absurd. The board acquired this parcel fair and square." I flipped open my folder, holding up the certified deed like a winning lottery ticket. "Acquired? You mean assumed? Here's the plat map. Your acquisition is a fantasy. No sale, no transfer, just your LLC filing fairy tales." The crowd murmured. A reporter's microphone thrust forward. Marge's eyes darted like a cornered rat. "This must be a mix-up. Our lawyers assured us." But her voice trailed, sweat beading despite the cool air. A suit from the development company interjected. "Who the hell are you?" "Alex Harlan, owner of this entire hillside. And you've got violations stacking higher than these roofs, unpermitted builds, environmental slaps, the works." Silence blanketed the scene, broken only by the distant hum of a forgotten bulldozer. Then, sirens wailed up the road, sheriff's cars, lights flashing. I hadn't called them that moment. I'd filed quietly weeks prior, tipping off the county about mysterious construction sans proper ownership. Deputy Ramirez stepped out, badge gleaming. "Ma'am, we've got reports of fraud and unauthorized development. Sites shut down pending investigation." Marge's composure cracked like cheap porcelain. "This is outrageous. We're enhancing the community." Ramirez shrugged. "Tell it to the DA. No one's touching this till we sort the deeds." Workers packed tools hastily. The project manager paced, phone glued to her ear, whispering frantic pleas to HQ. I addressed the gawkers. "Folks, this wasn't oversight. They knew it wasn't theirs. They just bet on no pushback. Marge's husband, Ted, a paunchy accountant type, lumbered over, face red as a beet. "You'll pay for this, Harlan. Ruining good people's work." I held up my phone, recording light blinking. "Like how your wife emailed the county claiming title she never had. Deny that on tape, Ted." He halted, neighbors edging away like he had the plague. Over the following weeks, the escalation hit warp speed. The story leaked to local news. HOA caught building on neighbor's land. Fraud alleged. Footage of Marge's frozen face went viral in community forums. Memes sprouting like weeds. When your HOA Karen dreams bigger than her deed. But Marge didn't fold. Oh no. She doubled down, calling an emergency board meeting. I wasn't invited, but a sympathetic insider slipped me notes. "This Harlan character's a troublemaker," she ranted. "Probably forged those documents himself to sabotage progress." The irony? She'd been the forger, creating Ridgeview Holdings LLC, a shell to buy my land without a dime changing hands. I kept gathering timestamps on every incursion, photos of trenching that violated wetlands regs, even audio from a hidden mic near the fence where Marge bragged to contractors. "That loner's too passive to fight. Land's practically ours." Turns out, she'd embezzled HOA dues. $250,000 siphoned for this pet project, promising board cronies rental profits. It's investment in our future, she'd coo at meetings, while residents griped about rising fees for maintenance that never happened. 2 days post-shutdown, residents showed at my door, coffee thermoses in hand, faces sheepish. "We didn't know," one admitted, a mom with kids in tow. Marge said it was all above board. I poured mugs, listening as they spilled. Marge's power grabs, rewriting bylaws for unchecked votes, silencing dissent with threats of fines. "She fined me $500 for a holiday wreath," another grumbled. "Called it garish." We laughed bitterly, that cough in anger vibe thickening the air. I shared snippets of evidence, watching their eyes widen. "She's been playing us all," I said softly. They left with a petition to oust her, my quiet nod sealing an unspoken alliance. The DA's office dove in, uncovering the rot. Charges piled: fraud, embezzlement, trespass. Marge was arrested at her McMansion, cuffed in front of nosy neighbors. Poetic justice. Ted tried distancing. "I just signed what she told me." But bank trails led to his secret rental firm, flipping properties with stolen funds. The HOA imploded. Board members bailed like rats from a sinking ship. Residents elected a temp committee, begging me to join. "You're the only one who saw through her," they said. I hesitated. Politics wasn't my jam, but seeing Marge's empire crumble, satisfying as hell. I agreed, on condition: scrap the HOA, birth a voluntary co-op. No fines, just potlucks and shared snowplows. Passed with cheers. As for the townhomes, court ruled them squatter shacks, illegal from the studs up. Options: keep, sell, demolish. I donated half to a homeless vet program. They dismantled and relocated him. The rest, I rented an excavator, tearing them down myself over months. Each crunching beam was cathartic, like erasing her smug fingerprints. Marge and Ted pled out no jail, but restitution up the wazoo and bans from any board. The hillside hushed again, hawks soaring as if nothing happened. But scars lingered, and so did the lessons in quiet vigilance. 3 months after the last splintered timber hauled away, Peace felt fragile. I'd replanted the meadow, wild grasses swaying where foundations once scarred the earth. Mornings were mine again, coffee on the deck, watching deer graze. Then, a certified letter shattered the calm. A lien notice for $98,000 from Evergreen Recovery Fund, claiming I owed for shared improvements, like the gate and roads they'd bulldozed onto my turf. Audacity level expert. Marge and Ted had filed it pre-arrest, using leftover HOA scraps to hire a shady collector. I marched to the courthouse, papers in fist. The clerk squinted. Forged parcel ID. Expired notary. Felony territory. Grinning inwardly, I pushed, "Enough for new charges?" She nodded. DA called next day. Investigator Lena Vargas took lead, a sharp-eyed vet of white-collar scams. She arrived at my place, folder thick. "It's not just you," she said, skipping pleasantries. 3 others hit, all who opposed her road plan. Copies showed liens on an old widow's garden plot, a ranger's wooded acre, a couple's trail easement. "Retaliation," I murmured. "Bingo," Vargas replied. "Your docs prove pattern." Prosecutors tacked on false filings, harassment, racketeering. Marge and Ted hauled back to court, her defense claiming entrapment. "Harlan let us build to scam us." Judge called a hearing. I testified, laying out timelines, drones, emails. Played Marge's ribbon speech, a gift to generations. Judge snorted. "Unaware? Pull the other one." Ted glared daggers. Marge stared straight, mask cracking. Then, bombshell. Forged stamps traced to Ted's Ghost LLC. Bought with burner tech. Feds jumped in RICO jurisdiction. Task force unearthed $180,000 laundered through dummies. Funding flips elsewhere. Trial ballooned. Ex-bookkeeper testified. Trembling, Marge said shred trails. "Folks just want pretty lawns, not audits." Verdict, guilty all counts. Marge, 9 years state pen. Ted, 6. Assets liquidated: SUV, house, secret cabin. Residents gathered post-sentencing. Relieved. "No more blank checks," one declared. We skipped rebuilding, formed a land trust instead. I donated acres. Signs welcomed hikers, not warned them off. Gate, welded open. Sign, guarded by neighbors, not rules. Spring brought renewal, streams gurgling over old scars. Fixing a bridge when Vargas phoned. More dirt, literally, in county basement. Blueprints unrolled. Phase 2, 25 units on my east slope. But buried, illegal septic tanks, banned for leaching toxins. "On my aquifer," I growled. Inspections confirmed. 8 ruptured tanks, nitrates seeping toward valley water. EPA classified catastrophe. Fines topped $1.8 million. Liability on Marge, Ted, contractors. New indictments. Waste dumping, reg dodging. Contractors nabbed fleeing states. I testified as whistleblower. Hydrologist warned. Could have poisoned 300 homes. Judge raged. Greed over lives. Extra sentences. Marge plus 6 years. Ted plus 4. Surprise, LLC active. Niece's name on investor scams. Feds froze. Probed mail fraud. Case went national. HOA nightmare poisons paradise. Nonprofits restored the land. We volunteered. Planting. Healing. A kid's drawing thanked me. For the clean creek. Summer bloomed green. I built a bench overlooking it all. Vargas visited last. What if you'd stopped him early? Then the rot stays hidden, I said. Donated restitution to the trust. Now, the hill's ours, shared, rule-free. But here's the kicker. Folks, was letting them build entrapment, or just smart justice, true or false? Sometimes the best revenge is handing the rope and watching them hang themselves. Drop your thoughts below. Did Alex play dirty? Or did the Karens dig their own grave?